One of these men was involved in an international incident which this week made headlines throughout the world. What is your name, please?
My name is Don Chapman.
What is your name, please?
My name is Don Chapman.
What is your name, please?
My name is Don Chapman.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Don Chapman and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. And here is your host, Bud Collyer.
Thank you very much, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by Tony, first in the world of home beauty. Tony and all its wonderful products have made it possible for women everywhere to find natural loveliness right in the comfort of her own home. Now may I introduce our panel. First, back from what we consider a too-long vacation in the West Indies, our own Kitty Carlisle. Then Mr. Donna Armanis. Next, an old friend, happily back with us again to replace Polly Bergen, who is in California right now, getting ready for the Jack Benny show. And Miss Julia Meade. And finally, Mr. Tom Poston. Julia, welcome back.
Thank you, Bud. I'm glad to be back.
How's the new baby?
Baby's just marvelous. You shouldn't ask. We haven't got enough airtime.
All right, panel, will you please follow along with your copies of this first affidavit? I, Don Chapman, was one of two passengers on the French freighter which blew up in Havana Harbor last Friday afternoon. As the only American on board, I was suspected of sabotaging the ship, which was unloading munitions when it exploded. I was taken into custody on Friday and not released to the United States consular authorities until Sunday. I boarded an airliner for home, only to be taken off the plane and formally arrested. I finally arrived in Miami Monday night. During my more than 30 hours of interrogation, I was questioned by many Cuban officials, including Premier Fidel Castro himself. Signed, Don Chapman. Start things off tonight, panel. As you heard, three young gentlemen, all claiming to be Don Chapman, just released from imprisonment by Castro. And if you gentlemen are ready to play our game, are you? Very well, then let's begin the questioning on this round with Donna Armanis. Don, please.
Thank you, Bud. Number one, what was the tonnage of your ship?
I have no idea.
Number two?
No idea.
Number three?
I'd say it was about 15,000 tons.
Number one, what is the cruising speed of your ship?
About 14 knots.
Number two?
Between 14 and 16.
Number three?
12 and 14.
Number one, how do you change knots into miles?
I think about 1.25 miles.
Number two?
I would say 2 miles.
Number three?
I don't know the formula, but knots are faster than miles.
Julia Meade.
Number one, when you were questioned in Havana, where were you questioned?
In the Central Police Headquarters.
Number three, where is the Central Police Headquarters?
Would be around the yacht basin. I don't know specifically.
Number two, do you know where the Central Police Headquarters is?
Well, it's right in Havana.
I know that. What part of Havana?
Well,
Number one, do you know?
It's around the yacht basin.
Number three, how long a flight is it from Havana to Miami?
about 1 hour and a quarter.
Number one? How long a flight?
About 1 hour.
Number two?
1 hour.
Tom Poston.
Thank you, Bud. Let me establish first, I believe whether you're the right Chapman or not, number three, is the real Don Chapman a photographer?
Yes?
Can you tell me, number three, I'll ask you, what does dodging mean?
I don't know.
Number two, do you know? Mr. Chapman, the photographer, number two, do you know what dodging means?
No, I don't.
Number one, do you happen to know?
Yes. It's when you take out a portion of the print by putting something in front of it, such as your hand.
Thank you. Number one, could you perhaps tell me how tall is Fidel Castro?
Over 6 foot.
Would you say that he was a light man or a heavy-set man or?
A large man.
Thank you. Number 2, did you spend any time in Havana proper?
No.
On your own?
No, I didn't. Just to get off the ship for a newspaper and like that.
Kitty?
Number 3, where were you when the ship was blown up?
4 on the bridge.
On the bridge. Number 2, did you feel, were you frightened?
I sure was.
Number 1, tell me, what language did Mr. Castro use?
Spanish.
Do you speak Spanish?
No, I do not.
There was an interpreter.
Yes, there was an interpreter.
Number 3, where did you leave from?
Havana Airport.
No, I mean, where did you leave on the freighter?
La Havre to Havana, nonstop.
Ah.
That's it. Time to vote. Ladies and gentlemen of the panel, without consultation, will you kindly mark your ballots now, and in so doing, vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. And of course, the team of challengers will, as usual, get $250 for every incorrect vote. Has everyone voted? All set? Kitty, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 3. I'm sorry, but Polly's seat must be catching. I think it's number 1, but I voted for number 3. Because number 1 knew the answer to Tom's question, which I didn't understand. But I voted for number 3.
Yes, I think it is catching. You're quite right. Don, your vote.
Yeah, I voted for number 1 because he answered that question about dodging, and I'm like Kitty. I don't know what it means either.
Julia, what is your vote?
Well, I voted for number 1, too, because the other 2 didn't give answers that were satisfactory to me, but number 1 did answer both of my questions and Tom's trick question. I don't know whether that's right or not.
Okay, Tom, which one
I
did you
voted for
select?
number 1 also because of the dodging. He answered it correctly, and it is I thought a photographic term that should be known by a photographer. But I will say that I did think number 3 answered a lot of those questions, and very well. He's a great liar, if he's not right.
All right, let's find out who is and who isn't the liar as we discover which one of these 3 gentlemen was the one just released by Fidel Castro. So will the real Don Chapman please stand up? We had a little trouble in locating Don. As a matter of fact, we'd like to thank Bill McBride and all the boys at WOW-TV in Omaha for their assistance in running him down. They found him for us. I understand the American consulate people were perfectly wonderful to you, Don.
Yes, it's a wonderful feeling to know that when you're in trouble in a country that the American government is standing wholeheartedly behind you.
It's good government to have behind you, too.
Definitely.
Well, thank you very much. Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
My name is Don Grant, and I'm an account executive with Grant Advertising Agency here in New York.
Thank you, sir. And number 3, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Frank Egan. I'm a physical education teacher at Hunter College in the Bronx.
Good job. Well, let's check up on the scoreboard. We find that there was exactly 1 incorrect vote. The panel did very well on this tonight, and that means a total of $250 from Tony and a gift package of Tony products for the ladies in your lives, gentlemen. Thank you very much for being with us. Hope you had fun. We did. Good night and good luck to you. And now, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sandra Vitvitsky.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sandra Vitvitsky.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sandra Vitvitsky.
You pay attention to this affidavit, panel, and follow along. I, Sandra Vitvitsky, am a ski jumper. Since there are very few girl ski jumpers around, I have to compete with the boys. Against a field of boys, I won the Junior Ski Jumping Championship of New York State and the Junior Ski Jumping Championship of Connecticut. 2 weeks ago, against a field of 33 boys, I jumped 73 feet to win the Junior Ski Jumping Championship of the state of Maine. Signed, Sandra Vitvitsky. Here with us tonight, claiming to be Sandra Vitvitsky, Junior Ski Jumping Champion. And let's begin this round of questioning with Tom Poston. Tom?
Thank you, Bud. They're mighty pretty little girls, all right.
They are.
You sure are.
And they're so sharp. Let me see. Number 3, please, Sandra. How does a ski jumper's ski differ from a racing ski?
Well, it's longer, and it has 3 grooves instead of 1. It has different type of edges.
Thank you. Number 2, how does a clamp, or the place you put your foot in a jump ski, differ from a racing ski?
Well, in a jump ski, you can easily remove your foot in case you get an accident.
Does it differ in any other way that you can think of right now?
Well, usually they're springs. Well, and the others, they might be made of something else.
Number 1, is there anything else different about a jumper's clamp, or where the foot goes, than a racing ski?
It's made differently.
It is.
Kitty Carlisle. There's an answer for you if you never got one before.
Sandra, number 1, would you please spell your last name for me?
Vitvitsky.
Is that the way you spell it, number 2?
Yes, it is.
Number 3, do you use poles when you jump?
No, you don't.
You never use poles?
No.
Number 2, how do they gauge the distance that you jump? Is it in the height, or is it from where you jump off the edge to where you land, or what?
It's from where you jump off from the edge to where you land.
To where you land. Number 1, can you tell me, do you go up as you go off the ski jump, or do you just go straight and down? Or when you're jumping, don't you know?
You go straight and down.
You don't go up at all?
Yeah, you
In my case, you go straight down. Don?
Number 2, in scoring, what percentage is for form and what percentage for distance?
Oh, about 65% for form.
Number 3?
It's 50% for form, 50 for distance.
Number 1?
50% for form and 50% for distance.
Number 2, what was the length of the long jump in the Olympics?
307 feet.
How many meters?
That was for an 80-meter jump.
80 meter. No, I meant that. Yeah. Number 3. What is? I meant what was the distance of the takeoff? Is what I meant. The long jump before the jump. Number 3. What was the distance of the short?
I think it was 60 meters.
Julia?
Number 2, what constitutes being what makes you a junior rather than
ages 12 through 14 are considered juniors.
I beg your pardon?
Ages 12 through 14 are juniors.
Do you agree with that, number 3?
Yes, I do.
Number 3, what was the distance that you jumped in to win the Connecticut junior ski title?
65 feet.
That's it, panel. Once more, it's time to vote and mark your ballot. So will you do so, please, without consultation, and vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Everybody marked? Everybody voted?
It's up to you, Bud.
Harder and harder, doesn't it? All set, Julia? You voted? Okay, Kitty, for whom did you vote this time?
Well, I voted for number 2. Children are notoriously good studies, not to say good liars, and I thought they were all wonderful, but I voted for number 2.
Don, what about your vote?
I voted for number 3. I thought percentage was equally divided between form and distance in scoring.
Julia, which one do you think is right?
Well, you see how hesitant I was. There's no
It's a little one.
2, and I already messed up my card, but I voted for number 2. I was completely thrown off by her judging meters and all that. I don't understand it at all, so she won me.
Okay, Tom?
I may have to disqualify myself. I'll make it a conditional disqualification. If the attractive young lady in the center's name is Newell, I recognize her from... we own property close together on Fire Island, and I met her dad on this show a year and a half ago or something.
Well,
if not, I'm all right, and I voted for number 1, and I'm probably wrong anyway, but I'll start off with all of that smear.
Okay, there you have it now, with our votes and qualifications and disqualifications. Let's find out which one of these 3 young ladies is the real junior ski jumping champion. So will the real Sandra Vitvitsky please stand up? And congratulations to you, young lady. That's a very proud... I don't know how you could miss that grin. I could see that going on a pair of skis anytime. The other 2 were great, I must admit. And that brings us to number 2. Tell us your real name, dear. You got the most votes, and what do you do?
Well, my name is Brooke Newell, and I attend school here in New York. I'm in the 6th grade, and I've never been on skis in my life.
You've learned well, believe me.
Number 3, you talked like you were not only knowledgeable, but an old skier yourself. Tell us about you.
My name is Margot Taylor. I'm in the 11th grade here in New York City. And I never skied much.
Never skied. And you sure picked up a lot of knowledge, I must say. And we thank you all. I hope you had a good time. They're checking the scores, of course. We find 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes at 2 and 4. Oh, you
Yes,
did what?
that's the young lady.
Oh, that is the
mean,
young
yes.
lady. Very well, and that's 4 incorrect votes, we call that. And disqualifying that one at a time, so you did all right. That means $1,000 from Tony, and a gift package of all of Tony's fine products for you, young ladies. Happy skiing to you, and thanks for being with us. Good night and good luck to you. Now, panel, let's meet our third team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Donna Armanis.
What is your name, please?
My name is Donna Armanis.
What is your name, please?
My name is Donna Armanis.
Again, panel, will you follow along with this final affidavit? I, Donna Armanis, and my father, John Armanis, were separated from my mother and brother when the Russians took over Lithuania in 1940. Ever since I was old enough to write, I've been appealing to anyone I thought could help me get them back from behind the Iron Curtain. With the help of a local newspaper and Governor Lawrence of Pennsylvania, I met Soviet Premier Khrushchev when he was in this country. He said, "Little girl, you can expect to see your mother soon." My father and I were reunited with my mother and brother in Copenhagen, Denmark over this past weekend. And on Monday we arrived after being separated for 20 years back in the United States. Signed, Donna Armanis. Panel, you just heard each one of these 3 young ladies claiming to be Donna Armanis, reunited with her family after a separation of 20 years behind the Iron Curtain. And as soon as they're comfortably settled, we will start this questioning with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Thank you, Bud. This is a thrilling story. Tell me, where did you meet Khrushchev, number 1?
I met Khrushchev when he was in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Number 2, actually, where was it?
It was at the University of Pittsburgh at a civic dinner.
Number 3, what newspaper man came back with you from Copenhagen?
Al Ostro.
Number 1, what happened to the newsmen when they tried to get a hold of him at the airport?
When they tried to get a hold of him, well, he naturally tried to avoid them as much as possible.
And what happened to them? Number 2, what happened to the newsmen?
Don Ameche.
To the reporters? Do you mean at the dinner?
Or to Don Ameche.
I'm sorry.
Number 2, where is Lithuania in relation to Romania?
I'm sorry, I don't know in relation to Romania.
Number 3?
Not in relation.
Number 1?
No, I don't know.
Number 2, what month was Lithuania taken over by the Russians?
That was in... No, I'm sorry, I don't remember the month.
Number 3?
The exact month?
Yes.
I cannot.
Number
tell
1?
you.
It's in July.
Number 2, what is the Lithuanian language akin to what other language?
To the Latvian language.
Number 3?
I really don't believe it's related to any other.
Number 1, how old is your brother?
My brother is 20.
Julia?
Number 3, when you were in, how long were you in Copenhagen?
Oh, I was there for 4 days.
And when you were there, did you see the Tivoli?
No, I didn't.
Number 2, did you see the Tivoli?
I stayed in my hotel room in order to avoid reporters for that time.
Number 1, did you go to see the Tivoli?
No, I didn't.
Number 3, what ship, what line did you come back on?
SAS.
Oh, you flew back. Number 2, what one?
Tom?
Well, I'll ask number 3. What is Sewickley?
I'm afraid I don't know.
Do you know what Sewickley is? It's not a foreign word. I'm not trying to trap you. Do you know what Sewickley is? Sewickley? Number 2, I'm sorry. Number 2?
Oh, no, I don't know what it is.
Number 1, do you happen to know what Sewickley is?
No, I'm sorry.
Do you know what Coriopolis is?
No, I don't.
Number 2?
No.
Number 3? Oh, okay. Do you know number 3 is
Time to vote, I'm sorry to say. So will you please mark your ballots with a Coriopolis, and in so doing, vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. It's up for grabs this time, Tom, huh? Has everybody voted?
Oh, no.
Well, vote quickly, please.
Oh.
All set? All right, Kitty, for whom did you vote this time?
Well, I voted for number 2 because I think she's the one of the 3 of them that Khrushchev would have said, little girl, you can expect to see your mother soon.
All right. Don, your selection.
I voted for number 1 because she didn't know where Sewickley nor Coriopolis was.
What?
Thank you.
Don, it's... Everybody knows it's just east of Dodging. Julia, please, your vote.
I voted for number 2. Just because I think she's the one.
And Tom, which one do you think is the real?
Well, listen, don't you remember last week when Adam Wade answered the questions about Sewickley, and I think wasn't the other town Coriopolis?
That's right.
And he went to the University of Pennsylvania. That's what prompted Polly. But maybe Donna didn't go to the University of Pennsylvania, in which case my reasons are Don's.
All right, your vote.
I just heard she's from Cleveland.
All right, there we have it. 2 for number 1, 2 for number 2. And we'll find out now which of the 2 you voted for is the real one. And to pick out the real Donna Armanis, we are delighted to be able to say that we have with us tonight the young man from whom she was separated for 20 years behind the Iron Curtain, her brother, Mr. John Armanis, Jr. Mr. Armanis will pick out his own sister. There she is. Donna, it was a terribly exciting story, a very dramatic one. We're glad it came out the way it did. I know that your brother speaks practically no English. Will you please convey to him and to your mother our happiness at your reunion, and we certainly wish all of you all the happiness in the future in this country that the world can give you. You deserve it. And may God bless you. Now let's find out about the 2 young ladies who were smart enough to fool the whole panel here. Number 1, you got the same number of votes as number 2. What is your real name and what do you do, please?
My name is Mary Ann Bradley. I work for National Airlines in the reservations office.
Thank you. And number 2, the same information about you, please.
My name is Virginia North, and I'm a former high school English teacher, and I'm now appearing off Broadway in Hamlet.
Good for you. Well, congratulations to you, because the 3 of you will divide the total again, $1,000 from Tony, as well as the gift package of all of Tony's wonderful products, which I know you'll appreciate. Thank you so much for being with us. If you had fun, so did we. Good night, and God bless you. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, except, Julia, it was certainly nice having you with us. I think maybe next time we'll book your daughter.
Oh.
How old now?
5 months.
She looks anything like her mother. She's on the way, believe me.
Oh,
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Bud. It was my pleasure.
Polly will be back with us next week. And, oh, hey, how's your lecture tour coming, Kitty?
Well, I have a couple more left to do. Monday is Baltimore.
Ah. Huh? Yes. Some night you're going to have to deliver the lecture to us here on the show.
I'd love it.
When we have a stretch queue. Thanks very much. Again, that's all the vital statistics. Good night, panel. Good night, Bud.
Good night, Bud.
Bud Collier saying good night to all of you from Tony and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Phipps and Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network.